What's up, everyone? Welcome back. I'm here with Matt Lane, our main event for Scrap 3 coming up September 28th. Before we get into this interview, I want to give a quick shout out to all of our amazing sponsors. If you're looking for some extra gear, if you want some new rash guards or gis, go check out Heavy Handed. If you want to use code MINIMONEY in checkout, you'll save 20% off your next order. Or if you want to become an affiliate, use that link in the description down below and become an affiliate today. Also, a quick shout out to Peak 3. It is a sports physical therapist local in Greenville, South Carolina. So if you're around the area, you have an injury, and you really want to get better, I'd recommend checking them out below. DG Builders, solid ground grading and clearing, and crafted decks and porches. These guys are absolutely amazing. DG Builders is a custom home. So if you're looking to build a custom home, I would recommend going through them. If you want to get that grading done, if you want to clear some land, clear some trees, solid ground grading and clearing is absolutely amazing and is your choice. Also, if you're looking for a new deck to put in your home, they build luxury decks for crafted decks and porches, and truly, I've been on a few of them and they are absolutely amazing. All the information for all of our sponsors is right down below in the description. If you want to go check them out, use the link. All right, now let's get to the interviews. And so just give them a quick little introduction on who you are and what you do.
Hey, well, my name's Matt. I've been here in South Carolina for about 3 years training at Spartanburg Jiu-Jitsu. But before that, I was in California, and that's where I got my black belt under Lucas Leitch. So, I've been here for 3 years, haven't competed much, but I'm getting ready, getting excited to get back on the scene.
So I went through your social media a little bit, trying to find some things, and I saw you had some medals in some different competition a long time ago. And when you put in your experience, 17 years of jiu-jitsu, why don't you give me a quick little rundown of like what that looked like back when you first got your black belt and kind of all the competitions you've done in the past?
Yeah. So, I started back in 2010. I was a sophomore in college. I spent my whole life running track, cross country. Got to college, ran track, ran cross country, and I found jiu-jitsu. And as soon as I found jiu-jitsu, I quit running. I was like all in on jiu-jitsu. So throughout the color belts, I was training pretty much full time through my color belt years. I won worlds at white belt. Had that following year of training, did worlds the next year at blue, placed third. Came back that next year for worlds again at blue belt again, and that's when I tore my LCL that year at worlds. So before that, I had about 3 or 4 years of really hard full-time training. But since that big injury, I've kind of dialed it back, became more of a hobbyist. But as you saw my social media, I still do local stuff here and there. I've competed at since then. I've competed at purple, brown, and black.
And when it comes to those, like, I'm purple, brown, and black, were you competing more like tournament style tournaments or super fights?
No, yeah, this is my first ever super fight. That's why I'm pretty stoked about this. They're all just normal, your kind of bracketed tournaments.
Okay. What made you not compete in super fights until now?
Like I said, like after that big injury at Worlds, I really wasn't training as hard as I was. And especially that coupled with the scene in California, the level of jiu-jitsu in California, it's so much beyond where it is here. When I was training back at Lucas's gym, like I'd go to comp training classes with 15, 20, 25 people, and I'd step on the mat with a black belt, and I'd be probably the worst person on the mats at times. The level was so high. I was training with guys like, Mateus Gabriel, the Nagai brothers, the Luna brothers. There's so much talent out in California. So after that injury, I had kind of just not super dialed back my training. I was just kind of taking it more laid back, and just kind of enjoying the process to black belt.
Nice. And so coming into your first ever super fight, being the main event and also more of a local type event, does it make you more nervous just to have like all those eyes on you compared to like a tournament style competition?
I've always I grew up competing. Like I mentioned, I ran track, I ran cross country. You get the jitters on the starting line. And I've been doing jiu-jitsu for so long. I never get the real, like, the real jitters, but it's always there. It's always some nervousness coming on the mats, but I am like, super excited for the format. The time limit, the sub only. I'm super excited.
And so, how would you say you've been preparing for this super fight recently?
I'm I'm super excited to see how it goes. Since moving here, most of my training partners have been white belts and blue belts. That's just kind of the nature of jiu-jitsu out here in Spartanburg. I get Brandon Perry over at Spartanburg Jiu-Jitsu has been super, super nice, letting me train with him, and we get some awesome rolls between him and I. But beyond him, it's mostly white and blue belts that I'm training with, which it's weird, but at the same time, when you're training with people that aren't giving you a lot of trouble, it gives you chances to work on stuff that I normally wouldn't be able to work on. So since moving here to Spartanburg, I feel like I've really developed my passing game. My passing's gotten a lot better. Um, Maybe a year ago, I did a new breed, and that was actually my first time ever competing without the gi. So I feel like since coming here, my game's really, really changed. I feel like I've become more exciting. I'm going for stuff I never used to go to just because I've had the opportunities to work them. And I've definitely developed my no-gi game since then.
So, this would that what you said that was your first competition without a gi on.
Yeah, yeah. So I did that new breed about a year ago now, and it was the advanced division, but my matches were all colored belts, so they were tough guys. I don't want to send any disrespect that way. They were tough guys, but I never competed, yeah, at a higher level without the gi. But I'm ready. I'm super excited. Jiu-jitsu is jiu-jitsu, with or without the gi. We'll still make it fun.
So this would be your first super fight going against a guy in nogi at like the black belt level.
Yeah, yeah. I'm expecting fireworks. This should be
Wow.
fun.
I already know it's gonna be a good match because I have trained with you in the past, and I think it was either gi or no gi. I don't know, one of the two, but I know you had a really strong game, really good jujitsu overall, kind of in every position. I know you kicked my butt, but you are also going up a little bit of weight, going to 165 instead of 155. Do you think that's going to have any play, or you been bulking?
I mean, I'm walking around like at 155 or so. I checked this morning. I'm at like 158, 159. I'm actually. It's funny. I am kind of putting on some weight. Trying to get there. I don't expect myself to get to 165. But I'm used to being the smaller guy, as you know.
Mhm.
Being the size that we are. I'm used to training with bigger guys. 10 pounds isn't a big deal. I'm excited.
Well, sweet. Before we end this interview, is there anyone or anything you want to say to like training partners, coaches, potential sponsors out there?
Yeah, for sure. I just wanted to, like I mentioned before, I wanted to thank Brandon Perry. He's been super awesome letting me train at his gym since I moved here to South Carolina. Moya Brand's always been a sponsor of mine all the way since Blue Belt. He's always hooking me up with gear, helping me out with tournament fees and everything. He's been the best. All the way back since like 2012. I've been with the Moya brand.
Oh,
And then
wow.
yeah, just all my other training partners here in Spartanburg and also back home, Lucas Leitch and all the guys back in La Habra.